Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a 2014 edition of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V, and Happy New Year! So, the Superman homepage is celebrating 20 years online in 2014. Let's see, 20 years ago, I was like 2. Yeah, I see you glaring at me. 20 years ago, I was 18, and I had not discovered the Superman homepage at that point. I don't think I had discovered internet at that point. Let's see, 20 years ago, if we go by, I could use my fingers, so we're in 2014 now, so it'll be 10 years. That should be easy. 10 years is 2004, that'd be 10 years, and then the 10 years, that'd be 1994. Yeah, 1994. Technically, I graduated high school in 92 when I was 17, so I must have been 19 in 1994, but not till the end of 94, because I won't be 39 until the end of 2014. What do we have to look forward to as Superman fans in 2014? Nothing. I mean, sure, there will be announcements about the Superman / Batman / Wonder Woman / Green Lantern / possible villains Lex Luthor. There will be announcements. There will be rumors. There continue to be announcements that are rumors right now. Nothing has come out of Zack Snyder's camp or the WB camp since the Wonder Woman announcement, but there are rumors now that Denzel Washington might be playing a role in the Superman / Batman movie, and that it possibly might be Green Lantern, which of course would be Jon Stewart, unless they're going to create a brand new Green Lantern. Many people thought that Jon Stewart should have been the Green Lantern in the Green Lantern movie when they used Hal Jordan. I personally wanted it to be Hal Jordan because Hal Jordan was the first, and I thought that we should start an origin story about the Green Lantern with the first Green Lantern. I don't exactly know. I'm not a Green Lantern fan. I like Green Lantern, but I don't follow the books enough to know how it works. I'm sure some of you out there do. My understanding was that there was one Green Lantern from the Guardians sent to be the galactic police force of one space sector. I would assume Earth would be a space sector. So why, at any given time, would there be Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, and sometimes Guy Gardner, depending on what was going on, up to between 3 and 4 Green Lanterns on Earth? Is Earth more than one sector? I would think that the entire solar system would be our sector, which would mean that one Green Lantern, from my understanding, would patrol it, or maybe they just go rogue and decide they're going to do what they want. Jon Stewart decided he liked Earth and he was going to stay here, and that was it. I don't know. Denzel Washington as Jon Stewart. I assume it would be Jon Stewart and not a made-up Green Lantern. But this, a rumor. Generally, rumors get started by sites all over the place just because they want to, get hits to their site or make people talk or make people go crazy. For instance, my brother said, "Yeah, I just don't know about this Zack Snyder." He's not a huge fan of the Man of Steel in the first place, but he loved the Nolan franchise of Batman films. He wants to go back and watch Man of Steel, but he was really disappointed. He said that he really wanted to enjoy it and just didn't, and thought it was lacking. And now he's talking about Zack Snyder in terms of casting too many stars, too many heroes, changing up the movie too much, and just going for it all right now instead of going the route of Marvel and actually trying to earn the Avengers film, which they eventually did after several years of single films and films about heroes on their own that had some cameos by other heroes, and then it all came together. And I've said this before. My preference would be seeing these heroes emerge and then getting to that. And it does seem like, especially if there's going to be a possible Green Lantern inclusion in the Superman / Batman movie, that they're kind of going all out already. And but we don't know. We haven't seen a script. We haven't heard anybody talk about it. It's possible that these people are just going to show up. What I would like is just to see Jon Stewart, to meet him, see who he is. and kind of have that wink to people who know who Jon Stewart is, that he will be Green Lantern at some point. We don't really need a suit design. We don't need to see him, put his suit on. We don't need to hear him say the pledge. It's not a movie about him, and it's not supposed to be a Justice League movie. I'm okay with the coming together of some of the people who will eventually be in the Justice League. The other weird thing about having Denzel Washington is that it seems like another guy who's way older than Superman who's going to come in and either chastise him for all the damage, or tell him he needs to be better, or try and show him what it means to be a hero. I don't know what they're going for, and I know that the Batman people and the Batman fans, who are most of DC, who think that the other heroes are secondary because Batman's the best, might very well go for something like Batman being the guy everybody in the world looks up to for learning how to be a hero, in which case he could be, hey, well, I'm Batman, and you're just some alien, and you should listen to everything I say, and of course Superman looking up to him with puppy eyes and hoping that he could just one day, someday, be the hero that Batman has always been, and that Batman hopes him to be, even though Batman is disappointed in the way Superman handled the whole Kryptonian invasion, and how there were things that Batman would have done differently, and how that from this point forward Batman will be the role model that Superman will learn from and look up to. And we have the same kind of situation if in fact there is some truth to the Denzel Washington as Green Lantern rumor, because now we have another older guy who has clearly been doing his thing for much longer than Clark has been doing as Superman. And we already know that the story with Ben Affleck as Batman is that he is a hardened, wise, battle-worn Batman who is now going to somehow come across Superman. So we already know Batman and Superman are not contemporaries, and if we have a Denzel Washington as Green Lantern, then we know that Green Lantern and Superman are also not contemporaries, but perhaps Batman and Green Lantern were once contemporaries who knew each other or fought alongside each other. The other rumor with Denzel Washington is that possibly he'll be Lex Luthor. Now, a lot of times rumors get started because there was a meeting, or Denzel Washington, for instance, got called into the WB studios, or met with Snyder, or took a phone call, or had an email, and somehow somebody hears about it, and so they start to speculate on what it could mean. Denzel Washington could be playing a military advisor. Denzel Washington could be playing the president. Denzel Washington could be playing anybody in the movie, or not. He could have met with executives from the film. He could have met with Zack Snyder. I haven't read anything official that he has, but that could be how the rumor got started, in which case he could have been going in for a Green Lantern-related role, or for a Lex Luthor-related role, or for any role in the franchise, or for a future role that Zack Snyder is going to be involved and is somehow planning for the future. We just don't know. If we had him as Lex Luthor, I suppose the age difference wouldn't matter as much as if he were playing another superhero who's supposed to be a contemporary. We already have people who are a bit annoyed that Batman's going to be older and that they're not going to be in the Justice League together, fighting side by side, although that might not be written yet either. Batman could be a little older and still be a strategist for the Justice League, could still be coordinating teams, which is what I always thought he should be doing when it's a Justice League required mission. Batman's a guy who should be detectiving things out in Gotham and ferreting out mobsters and beating up robbers, and stopping those sorts of things. But when it comes to galactic invasion, I'm sure they could come up with a way that somehow Batman would be useful against the Kryptonian invading force in Man of Steel. I just don't really see what it would be. They did it in Justice League and usually made him outshine everybody else, and it didn't make a lot of sense. The other thing that I could see happening, and actually I wouldn't mind as much, it would kind of make them all look like jerks, but if Batman was so suspicious of Superman and so suspicious of the Kryptonian alien force, and somehow Lex Luthor was feeding into his ear how important it was to control this menace and this possible menace, this danger, this Superman, and as Bruce Wayne, he's working with Lex Luthor maybe to rebuild the city, and he calls together some of these other heroes, Wonder Woman, possibly Green Lantern, himself to do the planning, and together they attempt to maybe subdue Superman. That would fall more in line with the way Zack Snyder felt about Superman, and the idea that there'd be no way that Batman and Superman could actually throw down together. You know, at Comic-Con back in 2012, he said, come on, I mean, I love Batman, but that's just a silly question. This is Superman we're talking about. And they can do anything they want in stories. They can write anything they'd like. But if you're trying to put together a world that makes sense, the guy in a bat suit being able to fight Superman just doesn't. So I could see and maybe even enjoy Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Batman coming together to see if they have what it takes to put this alien threat down, and in their minds going, and if we can't, then we really have to come up with something where we do. Now the issue there would be that they know going in, assuming people know how the fight with Zod ended, that this is a being who is willing to kill if necessary. They don't know that the pain and the emotional conflict that it brought up within Clark to do it, and they don't know, I guess, how necessary it was. They don't know what it came down to, although you can see the destruction, and you can see that if he let Zod keep going, things would be really bad, and yet we still have millions of fans who hate the movie simply because of that alone, even though to me it was pretty clear that it had to be done. And I understand the whole aversion to Superman killing, and I also like the idea of him deciding after that if there's any way possible, he's never going to do it again, even though I think that it was pretty clear in this film that that's not what he wanted to do, and that wouldn't have been the way he would have gone. But I talking about adding another hero to the mix, I could possibly see the Batman versus Superman thing coming from a different standpoint, and that is that he's going to be the planner, and that he's going to be the one who gets these other heroes together who do have the power to actually put Superman a little bit to the task. I don't think they could win, but I think you might get an interesting battle, an interesting story, a couple of interesting exchanges between them, and you could have a full movie where maybe he knocks them down and leaves because he doesn't want to fight them, and it's clear that they're not enemies of the world and they're not killing anybody, and he's trying to figure out how he can get out of this without hurting anyone, that kind of thing. That could be very interesting, and it could be a way to go with the versus angle, and it would make a little more sense having those two helping Batman to that end. I would rather them not be in it that much. Same with Batman. I would rather them all kind of be cameos, people he meets, people he talks to, and kind of gets the idea to maybe work together toward whatever common foe there's going to be. I assume there's going to be a villain, but the more heroes you add and the more you rumorate, that's not a word, but I don't care, about Batman versus Superman, the less time you have, and if you're going to be designing uniforms and doing origin stories for all these other characters, the less time you have for a global threat or a villain outside of that. But I guess we have to see how it goes, and that's really what we have to look forward to in 2014. We're going to get a lot more real information, non-rumor stuff, as we move forward. Thanks everybody for watching, and remember, always look up in the sky.